better. But for Pakistan, it was kind of worse, and again culminating into that Sri Lankan attack on the Sri Lankan players, and from there
Exactly, in
no cricket being played.
2009.
2009, no cricket being played. Their cricket has deteriorated to that extent where, even though we are talking about India Pakistan as this some kind of famed acclaimed rivalry,
Exactly.
would it live up to that expectation is the biggest question that probably lingers in our mind now.
And also that, what Pakistan has been through as a nation in the past decade or so, that geopolitical tensions or the turmoil, I would say, has somewhere or the other reflected on Pakistan's cricket, because we have seen how, political people have a big say in Pakistan cricket. And I think that has also reflected in the team combination, team formation, the administration, and ultimately in the performance of the players. Because ever since, Pakistan were knocked out of that ODI World Cup which held in India, they have went through a lot. Captain changes, select change of selectors, change of coaches. So if there are so many ups and downs in a team setup, then obviously to find that balance, that's gonna be a big thing, big challenge for a team like Pakistan. And even if you see now that they are hosting it, but I think India as a participating nation seems to have that, home advantage.
Exactly, and hosting itself is a great thing for Pakistan. This is what, since 1996 they are now hosting an
Yes,
ICC
29
tournament.
years, 29
29
long
years,
years,
almost 3
3 decades.
decades there. So the significance of this tournament itself becomes quite huge for something as a team like Pakistan. Again, as you mentioned, it's very kind of an thing where India, having refused to travel to Pakistan, as we mentioned, for reasons which is not in players' control, India do have that tactical advantage in terms of the host nation coming
Obviously.
in and playing their games in an outside venue, whereas India would be placed in Dubai. So let's
Exactly.
get into Pakistan first. The challenges, now they'll be facing. Primarily, they've lost to New Zealand by 60-run margin. Coming into this game, as we mentioned, Dubai, not their home venue. India have already played a game here. India, stupendous performance against Bangladesh, dominating in Pakistan, do or die. What are the challenges for Pakistan?
Well, I think Pakistan, the Champions Trophy is done for Pakistan, because the way they played against New Zealand, I don't think anything gonna change when they come to Dubai. And having said that, I think the tournament is over for Pakistan, because as you mentioned, India are stationed in Dubai. Other teams have to travel to and fro, because even if India go into the semi-finals, their opponent have to travel from
Yeah.
Pakistan to Dubai. With all these, extra baggage, extra load, when they are traveling from home to an other venue far, far away from home, where India is already has set their base. They have been practicing their uh, facing bowlers of that, that talent, I would say. So yes, I don't see a match between these two teams coming to this game.
More you see Pakistan play ODI game, they're still stuck in that early 90s era of how
Yeah.
ODI cricket was being played. Your top player Babar Azam, supposed to be the greatest commodity to come out of Pakistan since the time of maybe Saeed Anwar Awakar or Wasim Akram. You cannot be playing at a strike rate of 70 or 60. And the same is the case with somebody like Imam Ulaq. You're coming in. The main reason why he was out of the team was because his strike rate
Strike rate,
wasn't the greatest.
exactly.
Your captain Mohammad Rizwan, he's an accumulator. He's not somebody who strikes, at a decent pace. But look around you. Beat India, beat South Africa, beat New Zealand for that matter. Look at how Tom Latham, who we may consider as a traditional ODI player, he upped his ante.
Tawhid Ridoy for that matter.
Tawrid Hidayat for that matter, Jakar Ali for that matter. So I think the main issue for them, Pakistan, is that they're still stuck in the 90s when it comes to batting. Their bowling still is a very strong point, but then again, you only have Shaheen Shah Afridi, who was also not in that greatest of form. Haris Rauf is not fully fit. Naseem Shah, again, upcoming potential, but hasn't really shown that what he is completely made of. And then you are playing in Pakistan, subcontinental conditions, and you have just one spinner in your squad, one proper spinner. Look at New Zealand. They played two proper spinners. They had one more spinner. India carrying 5 spinners. It's mind-boggling to think
Actually,
that
two spinners and three all-rounders.
3 all-rounders, but again
Yeah.
5 spinners there. But it's mind-boggling to think that you are not able to read your own conditions.
I feel they are lost. We know a term called brain fade. whenever they go out on the field, I think they suffer that, because you see how Babar Azam batted on that day against New Zealand. That's the case. They are lost. They are literally figuring it out in every game, that how to find that balance.
Let's now move into India. All is going well as of now. Their start was brilliant. Their lead up to that start, the series that they played against England really showed that there were no chinks in their armor. Bangladesh win probably reassured us that yes, there's no chink in their armor. Shubman Gill going all guns blazing, Mohammad Shami coming back. I for one I did not feel the absence of Jasprit Bumrah, to be honest.
Absolutely. And you see, if you recall the 2023 ODI World Cup, we all covered some of the matches from the tournament. When Shami came in, he came in late. Yeah. And when he ended up came in as Hardik Pandya's replacement, and he went, and when India ended the campaign, although on the losing side, Shami was among the top wicket takers for India. So that's kind of a potential, that's the caliber he brings to the table. And like Rohit Sharma said in that post-match presentation, that given an ICC tournament, you bring in Shami, he's a different bowler altogether. I mean, the way he started from this England series after a 14-month gap due to injury, starting off very rusty body language and all those things. Now he comes to the Champions Trophy, picks up a 5-wicket haul in the opening game itself. That speaks volume about him. And now when you're one of your prime bowlers, I would say, especially when Jasprit Bumrah is there in your scheme of things. So when one of your prime bowlers is returning you 5 wickets, that means we are ticking all the boxes pretty much.
Yeah, that is true. Ticking all the boxes, at least from the bowling front, even in the batting front. One name that I'd like to point out here is Rohit Sharma.
Yeah.
Because of the way that he played against Bangladesh, the kind of approach that he has set himself for the last 2-3 years, maybe after that horrific loss to England in the semi-finals, where again India were accused of not being aggressive enough. Rohit Sharma has changed tack, and that Bangladesh knock, 41 of just 36 deliveries, that was crucial.
I think Rohit Sharma has put aside his personal milestones. If he gets 100 like he did in Cuttack in the second ODI against England, well enough, most welcome if he is reaching some milestone or getting 100. But if not, then at least he's ensuring a good start, a fiery start, which could build up on a great condition. I mean, that could put the team in a great condition, so that even if the middle order collapses, then there is very least left to be done for the lower order.
Absolutely, and that pretty much sets the base for Team India's dominance, so to speak, at least in the white ball format. So yeah, that's about it. That's from us in terms of what to look forward to for the India versus Pakistan marquee clash of Champions Trophy, February 23rd in Dubai.
Namaste and Jai Hind and welcome to this very special effort. It's not about whether Bharat and Pakistan should play with each other, play any cricket at all. Can talks, terror, cricket go hand in hand? No, we are getting beyond that because it's a multilateral stage. Bharat has decided they will not go to Pakistan. The fixture is happening in Dubai. It's the Champions Trophy. It's India versus Pakistan. So we will focus on the game and we'll focus on this important fixture on Sunday, the 23rd of February. A spectacle for the cricket fan. And of course, it's the age-old rivalry. It beats the Ashes too. It beats Border Gavaskar Trophy too, because there is nothing as hot and as piping in terms of a cricket match as India versus Pakistan or Bharat versus Pakistan. Now, India come into this contest after a dominant win over Bangladesh, while Pakistan comes in after suffering defeat on home soil against the New Zealand. Now, they start from behind, plus they've had to travel. There is a change of venue, there's a shift. Bharat continues to play its games, its fixtures in Dubai. Both teams will be keen on getting the win to ensure that they are able to qualify for knockout. So Bharat is in Group A along with Bangladesh, New Zealand and Pakistan. So one win in the bag. So, but for Pakistan, it's quite literally a do or die because they have to win this. They must win both their next fixtures against Bharat and also against Bangladesh to have any chances of moving on. India, on the other hand, if they beat Pakistan, they are comfortable, they have a cushion, and then they then take on the Kiwis in their final fixture of Group A. So this is the match card. The Dubai International Stadium, 23rd of February, India versus Pakistan. We've got a phenomenal lineup for you. We are also ourselves very happy and pleasantly surprised that we've been able to pull this off. We should have Cheteshwar Pujara, Nikhil Chopra and Piyush Chawla joining us in a bit. But first, I'm going to quickly go across to Vimal Kumar, old friend and also now roving reporter on ground. He is, looks like you are at the Dubai Sports Academy. Who's going to come there, the Indian team or the Pakistan team right now?
Thank you so much, Anand. And yes, you're right. I'm just outside the Dubai Sports Academy. And we all are waiting for Pakistan cricket team's arrival because just in half an hour's time, Pakistan cricket team will be here for the practice session. Because if you know, the first match they played in Pakistan and now the second match is against India in Dubai. So just getting acclimatized to the conditions here. While Indian team has an off day. Yesterday they won the match and Indian team is not practicing. There are no press conferences. So India is cooling it off. Tomorrow India is expected. Tomorrow India is expected to practice. Maybe probably in the later part of the.
पर एक बात बताओ भाई, मौसम कैसा है? You know, shirt word roll करके you're standing right there at near the practice area. There's a lovely evening sky behind you. Cheteshwar Pujara is also smiling. He's looking at those pictures. So tell me, how's the weather?
पुजारा भाई को तो ये कहना चाहेंगे, पुजारा भाई सुपर हिट हो गए पाकिस्तान में जो बातें कर रहे हैं. तो बहुत बहुत नमस्कार पुजारा भाई, इनके साथ शो में आ रहे हैं. कई सालों से रिक्वेस्ट पड़ी है तो उसको बाद में बोलेंगे कि भाई इनका इंटरव्यू वाला. खैर यहाँ पर अगर आप बोलूं तो मौसम बहुत ही शानदार है. एक्चुअली देखा जाए, लोग कहते हैं कि अक्टूबर से मार्च बेस्ट वेदर है. और आनंद, इस वक्त लोगों के दिमाग में रहता है कि दुबई में बड़ी गर्मी, लेकिन शाम जो है स्पेशली 4 साढ़े 4 बजे के बाद कूलर हो जाती है तो आपको. लेकिन जिस समय मैच यहाँ शुरू हो रहा है, द टाइम विच इज स्टार्ट 1 PM यहाँ आफ्टरनून में, कल मैं देख रहा था, इट बिकम्स टफ फॉर फील्डिंग साइड. फर्स्ट अगर आपने टॉस जीत के अगर आपने पहले फील्डिंग किया तो आपकी हालत खराब होती है. लेकिन ऑप्शन भी नहीं है क्योंकि पुजारा भाई बताएंगे विकेट में जो परचेज है स्पिनर्स के लिए फर्स्ट हाफ में, वो सेकेंड हाफ नहीं है. सो दैट कैन बी अ लिटिल ट्रिकी.
That can be a little tricky. You know, trust a news reporter or someone who's come from the news background, Cheteshwar, to always plug in an interview opportunity and to try and bat there. You know, so from net practice to actual practice, हम एक भी ball नहीं छोड़ते हैं. But good to have you with us. Yeah. Your thoughts on the India-Pakistan fixture and how's it been so far? Yeah. Looking at the tournament overall and conditions between Pakistan and Dubai.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you, Vimalji. I think, look, I was there in Dubai for a couple of days. So the weather, which I saw, it's quite pleasant. It's not as hot as it normally is. So I feel that will definitely impact the game. But there is no dew. The good part is there is no dew. So even if you lose the toss in the second half of the game, we saw in the game yesterday, Bangladesh spinners, they got enough turn. So I feel that the pitch will remain the same whether you bat or bowl. It will hardly matter. You will have to play good cricket because yesterday, yes, we won the match comfortably, but there were times where Bangladesh team did come back in the game. They tried their best. And it was a good wake-up call in the sense, yes, we won comfortably, but there were times where they put our batters under pressure, and which is, I feel, which is very important for our team because we won the first game, but it wasn't an easy win. Our batters had to work hard to chase that total. So going into a big game against Pakistan, I feel that whoever wins the toss might look to bat first, considering there's enough turn even in the second half. So if you put up a decent total, because on that pitch, if you are chasing 275 to 300, it can become a tough task.
Well, I've got Piyush Chawla quickly. We've just pulled him out of his own stint that he's been busy doing. All cricketers get super busy when cricket happens, especially around India, Pakistan. So Piyush is also with us. Piyush, namaste. On form, आपको क्या लगता है दुबई में किसका एज होगा, भारत का या पाकिस्तान का, and why?
On form, if we think India has got the edge, because in ICC tournaments, especially in the one-day format, India has done well against Pakistan. Although in Champions Trophy, Pakistan has got this slight edge, but looking at the current form, the way Indian team is playing and the way Pakistani team played against New Zealand, so India has got a better chance.
Cheteshwar, agree, disagree?
Completely agree. I think, look, I would say, I would even go ahead and say that I'd be very surprised that if Pakistan wins this game, because if you look at their side, they don't have proper spinners. There's only one leading spinner, and the rest of the two spinners are part timers. I mean, both the spinners are all rounder. They are not strike bowlers. If we look at our team, we have got Jadeja, we have got Akshar, and we have got Kuldeep. So there are multiple options, and all three can win a game on a given day with their bowling. But if you look at the Pakistan team, I don't think they have the frontline spinners which they need in such conditions. And even their batters, they are struggling. If you look at the last game against New Zealand, they didn't bat well. Although the pitch was slightly on the tougher side, but their batters could have done a better job.
Batters could have done that. That brings me to this next question, Chiteshwar. Let me ask you this. Within the Pakistan team, Vimalwa ke paas ja rahe hain, 1 second. I know there is some activity behind you also, Vimal. Just this question. Pakistan team, for you, who is the weak link? Where is it that we can actually attack? And from our team, are there any chinks? Are there any weak links in the Indian team too? And why do you feel that way?
Are you asking me?
Yes, Chiteshwar.
Yeah, I feel, look, in our team looks quite balanced. I don't think there are any weak links because our batting lineup is really, really strong. Someone like Jadeja who comes in at number 8. So that if you look at the depth of our batting lineup, it's really good. When we speak about the Pakistani team, their batters are not batting well. That is the biggest disadvantage they have. If you look at their strike rate, if you look at their approach, and if you look at the way they are batting in the power play, so there are a lot of dents in their team. There have been, the way Rizwan has been leading the team, there have been questions on that also. So their group is not looking good. They are not looking like a confident team. And even before this Champions Trophy started, if you look at the way they played in the Tri-Series with New Zealand, and they lost in the finals also. So I think their confidence level is quite down at this stage.
Let me ask this of Piyush Chawla, even as we say hello to Nikhil Chopra. He's also through with us. थोड़ा सा विंडो में आप सामने आइए, दूर दिख रहे हैं जूम विंडो में भी. Nikhil, please come in a little closer. Good to have you with us after a long time. But Piyush, your thoughts on who's the weak link for Pakistan, who's the weak link in Bharat?
अगर हम वीक लिंक की बात करें तो मेरे को लगता है पाकिस्तान का वीक लिंक स्पिनर्स हैं, बिकॉज हमने दुबई में देखा था किस तरह की कंडीशंस थी, वहाँ स्पिनर्स के लिए मदद थी. तो आई फील स्पिनर्स वीक लिंक है पाकिस्तान का, क्योंकि उनके पास वो 5वां बॉलिंग ऑप्शन जो है वो पार्ट टाइम स्पिनर्स हैं. और भारत के अगर वीक लिंक की बात करें तो एज सच कुछ वीक लिंक नज़र आया नहीं. लेकिन अगर बात करनी ही है तो मेरे को लगता है जो थोड़ा एक्सपीरियंस की कमी है फास्ट बॉलिंग डिपार्टमेंट में. शामी के अलावा हर्षित हैं. हर्षित इतना ज़्यादा वनडे क्रिकेट खेले नहीं हैं और उन्होंने अच्छा प्रदर्शन भले ही किया है, लेकिन पाकिस्तान हाई प्रेशर गेम, तो कहीं ना कहीं वो एक्सपीरियंस ज़रूरी होता है.
चलिए, डीप एंड ऑफ द पूल स्ट्रेट अप. निखिल चोपड़ा, योर थॉट्स? एग्री, डिसएग्री? बॉलिंग डिपार्टमेंट हमारा थोड़ा वीक लग रहा है. शमी गॉट अ फाइफर, बट डिड ही लुक एट हिज फुल टिल्ट? इज हर्षित राणा गुड इनफ? आर वी मिसिंग बुमराह? Or will our spinners make up?
Listen, no, to be honest, Anand, I don't see any sort of weakening. I mean, Shami coming full tilt, comeback game, literally getting 5 wickets, and every single time he's playing a ICC tournament, all of a sudden his performances are his best. He enjoys the big stage, and you see the best of Mohammad Shami, and especially with the new ball. Looking to pick up wickets with the new ball, puts a dent in the first power play as well. That helps Harshit Rana to take some sort of pressure whatsoever. Harshit is good enough. That's why he's representing India in the Champions Trophy as well. Yeah, it makes a big difference if you have experience on your side when you're playing a side like Pakistan. But of course, with Mohammad Shami around, and you look at the other guys in the team, the senior guys, they will help Harshit. Make no mistake about it. And sometimes it's good going into a pressure game, international game, with a little less experience. You're all heart. The exuberance of youth sometimes takes care of you as well. He'll probably go out there and bowl his best spell that Harshit is capable of. That's why he's representing the country. We've got a quality bowling lineup. The 3 spinners. You've got the 2 medium pacers. Hardik Pandya can come and bowl a couple of overs as well. You look at the batting department. Like Chiteshwar just pointed out, you got batting till number 8. We've got all areas covered of the game. Pakistan, on the other hand, I mean, no disrespect to the side, Fakir Zaman is a big loss to them because he's somebody, when he gets going in the power play, he allows Babar Azam to just get into his groove, play with that sort of strike rate. He's not there. And, there's a lot of talk that's happening that Babar Azam's strike rate is just pushing the Pakistani team under a little hole and putting a lot more pressure on some of the other batsmen as well. So not all hunky-dory for the neighbors, I can tell you that, Anand.
Well, in fact, Babar Azam looked in good nick. I think it's the fall of wickets that perhaps put him in a shell because he was actually middling the ball better in the previous game, better than Fakhar Zaman when the two of them were there. Of what I was able to see, at least you could hear that sweet sound, and those shots were quite a cracker, although it went straight to the fielders. I'm going to check, Nikhil, if you can just go horizontal with your frame because I can see you vertically and there is a little space. We'll just sort that out. But Cheteshwar, your thoughts? Why do you think, and I'm sure you're talking to a lot of the Pakistani cricketers also, were they very happy with how the Pakistanis played in their opener?
Not at all. I would say they were quite disappointed with the way team played in that game. It's not about losing the game, but how you lose the game, that also matters. And I don't think Pakistan played at their best potential. I would really question their, their approach, especially when they were batting. They just scored 22 runs in first 10 overs. That is, I feel, it's unacceptable when you are chasing more than 300 runs. So that approach is wrong. I mean, there are times where you lose the game. Even if you look at the way Bangladeshi players batted yesterday in the power play, they were very aggressive. They kept losing the wickets, but still their intent was perfect. Obviously, there were some rash shots. But that comes with the experience. But their approach was really good. They were trying to put the bowlers under pressure. Whereas the way Pakistani batters were batting in the power play, they never looked like putting any pressure on the bowlers. And they were trying to survive. They were trying to not get out. And that's not the way you play ODI cricket. In ODI cricket, you need to be a little courageous. You need to make the most of the power play. Especially in on slow pitches where the ball comes on nicely when the ball is hard and new. Once the ball gets little softer, once it gets little older, it becomes little difficult to time the ball. Even we saw yesterday in India-Bangladesh game, once you start bowling slower balls into the pitch, it becomes hard to hit the ball.
Yeah, but was India guilty of letting them get away? Vimal, what's the talk in Dubai when Bangladesh were 30 odd for 5 and then they went up to make 229? That middle order partnership, drop catches.
You are right. And as Cheteshwar pointed it out, that India must be just little relieved that they won the game because the way no one expected, because there was such a gulf between these two sides. You look at the 4 players who were not playing, they could have walked into Bangladesh side. Players like Rishabh Pant, Varun Chakravarti, or Arshdeep Singh, or even Washington Sundar, they all could have walked into Bangladesh 11 and they were not playing. Still, Bangladesh gave runs for India's money. But when you talk about Pakistan game, this game, I think Pakistan is under enormous pressure. Because they have not done well of late in home condition. They lost the first match against New Zealand. B, the external pressure. Prime Minister कह रहे हैं कि आपको हिंदुस्तान के खिलाफ जीतना ही है. भाई हमारे मोदी साहब मिलते हैं, बोलते हैं भैया लड़के बच्चे खेल के आओ. ये नहीं कहते कि मेडल लाना ही है, जीत के ही आना है, जंग है. लड़कों को पता है उनका क्या बिजनेस है. तो मुझे लगता है पाकिस्तान टीम को इट वाज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. एक ऐसे भी आपका आईसीसी में वर्ल्ड कप में रिकॉर्ड अच्छा नहीं है, उस पर से प्रेशर में अपने ही बच्चों पर और आप प्रेशर डाल रहे हैं. जैसे बच्चे को कहते हैं एग्जाम से पहले 99% लाना ही है तभी एडमिशन होगा. अरे भाई एग्जाम आ गया, बच्चों को पता है, तैयारी की है. दूसरी चीज, तीसरी चीज, पाकिस्तान का एक और है कि ये दिस गेम हैज बिकम वर्चुअली सेमीफाइनल फॉर देम. इफ दे लूज अगेंस्ट इंडिया, सडनली आपके घर में शादी हो रही है और आप भी मेहमान नहीं है, पूरा टूर्नामेंट हो रहा है. बताइए आप खुद संडे को इफ दे लूज, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग? आईसीसी विल बी रियली वरीड कि यार हमने एक ऐसे मुल्क को दिया है, ये तो एक हफ्ता भी नहीं हुआ टूर्नामेंट ही खत्म. मतलब इंडिया जो सबसे पॉपुलर टीम है वो दुबई में है, जो पाकिस्तान में जो उनके घर में टूर्नामेंट है वो खत्म हो गया. सो आई थिंक दीज थिंग्स विल प्ले इनटू देयर माइंड. बट यस, आप पाकिस्तान के साथ
But वो कहते हैं ना कि Pakistan team one day hot, one day cold, so they are like that, and sometimes they it's a different side or a different motivation when they play against India. वो भारत के खिलाफ खेलते हुए प्रेशर तो होता है, बट दे ऑल्सो ट्राई टू ब्रिंग अप देयर ए गेम ऑन दैट डे, एंड इट्स ऑल्सो अबाउट विच पाकिस्तान टर्न्स अप as they cross the boundary line into the field. That's also there. But this KL Rahul behind the key, wickets, Nikhil Chopra. Let's deep dive a little into this. Now, KL Rahul over Rishabh Pant. Are you all right? I was somewhere in my head. I was wondering, what is Rishabh Pant there sitting there with his foot up in the dressing room, and what is KL Rahul doing here, jumping around trying to flounder catches or work? Yes, he did redeem himself with 41 runs in that game, 40 odd, remaining not out, but I'm just asking you.
Alan, that's the Rishabh Pant fan in you taking that question.
No, I have nothing against KL Rahul, but I'm just saying from the construct of it. I'd rather...
No, absolutely. See, I'll tell you why. Because you've got a left-hander in there. The numbers of KL Rahul, the way he's been batting in one-day cricket has been phenomenal. Thanks to Akshar Patel, who's been promoted up the order. If you need a left-hander, he gets an opportunity. Then you've got Ravindra Jadeja as well. It's just the balance of the side that's demanding KL Rahul to be part of that 11 as well. And that's a good headache to have for the captain as well as the coach, that you got somebody like a Rishabh Pant who's not making it to the 11. Yashasvi Jaiswal didn't make it to the 15 as well. That's the kind of bench strength that we were talking about. But you got very able KL Rahul, because his numbers, he's been phenomenal in the limited overs format, especially the one days as well, and he's doing a good job behind the stumps as well. Because sometimes when you're looking to make that combination, whether you want a batsman wicketkeeper or you want a keeper batsman, so at this moment in time, it's just strengthening your middle order shade more, because you've got Akshar Patel who comes and does a similar job with Rishabh Pant as well. And for me, I'm a big fan of Rishabh Pant as well, because I've seen him grow. When I was one of the junior selectors, I'm the one who picked him from the under-19, so I have a very soft corner for him as well.
निखिल क्या बोल रहे हो? स्पिनिंग ट्रैक है, आप कह रहे हो स्पिनर को परचेस मिलेगा. Who would you rather have keeping wickets, Rishabh Pant or KL Rahul? Any और बोली?
No, 100%. But to be honest, that's what I'm saying. KL Rahul is doing a phenomenal job. I mean, you look at him keeping yesterday as well. The way he kept at Akshar got the ball to purchase, it was spitting around, but he did a fabulous job. Make no mistake about it. But when you've got that left and right combination, of course, Gautam Gambhir is there, Rohit is there, and they've been seeing that in the nets as well. When you've got somebody who's doing a great enough job, why do you want to fix something that is not broken? And
I'm not saying he's broken. I'm not saying he's broken, but he was supposed to be top of the order. Now he's at number 6, number 7. Cheteshwar Pujara. There is a school, there is a group of fans who believe कि KL Rahul को कुछ ज़्यादा ही proper, कुछ ज़्यादा ही back नहीं कर रहे हैं. इतना backing आप पंत को देते थे.
Look, I feel so. My opinion is, if you look at KL Rahul's ODI record, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So it is a bit unfortunate that Rishabh is missing out. He's a quality player, and he could walk into any side in the world. I wouldn't deny that. But the unfortunate part is he was injured for a year, and that's when KL started performing well. He got an opportunity because Rishabh was injured. Now, once the player comes into the squad, if he's part of the playing 11, if he's performing well as a batter, yes, I do agree that KL hasn't been keeping as well as what Rishabh does. Rishabh is a slightly better wicket keeper. But as a batter, KL has done really, really well in the ODI format. So you can't, put someone out of the squad when someone has performed really well playing for the country. So I think it will be very unfair on KL. But yes, it's as we were discussing, it's a good headache to have for the Indian team management, that we have plenty of options. There are times where you keep on playing matches. There might be some injuries in between. So Rishabh will get opportunity at some stage. But at this stage, I think KL has been performing really well.
Who would you play? Let me. Who would you play against Pakistan? Rishabh Pant or KL Rahul?
It has to be KL Rahul because he has been performing well so far. And even if you look at recent past, his performances have been good in the ODI format, batting in the middle order. So now you can't make a sudden change because Rishabh is a quality player, as I said earlier.
Right.
But if Rishabh comes in, then think about KL's mindset. What will he start thinking? I am performing well, still I am sitting out of the squad. And that is unfair for him.
That's unfair for so many. Yashasvi Jaiswal performing well, not even in the play in the 15.
Yeah, I agree.
Sanju Samson doing so well. Yes,
Sorry
Vimal.
to
Yes, Vimal.
interrupt. Yeah, one point
Going into
want
this
to
debate,
make
very
it.
fascinating debate regarding KL and Pant, and everyone is asking about. I will tell you one example, Anand. Just 2 days back, when India was having its full-fledged net practice session, once KL went out from his practice session, Rishabh came for batting, and the way he was hitting sixes, Anand, everyone was just awestruck. Left, right, center, ram shot, mid wicket, pull. The balls were just flying, and you were just wondering, यार इस बंदे को बाहर कैसे रख सकते हो? यार इस बंदे को बाहर कैसे रख सकते हो? But that is the embarrassment of riches for India.
Yeah,
We are fortunate.
Problem.
Also,
Yes,
another
Chiteshwar was saying
quality
something.
player,
Yes.
I was talking about Arshdeep. Look,
Yeah,
the
Arshdeep,
way he
yes.
has been bowling.
Correct.
I think he is someone who is again a quality bowler, and I'm little surprised that he's not part of the squad because considering the kind of pitches we are playing on, he brings in that swing early on, and he has a good slower ball.
Yeah,
which will be very effective on Dubai pitches. So
I-
I'm little surprised.
I would have wanted to see him compete against someone like a Shaheen Shah Afridi, again left arm pacer, and see, all right, you think you are going to trouble the Indian batters, let's see what an Arshdeep does, and we unleash him against the Pakistan batters and see this is what he can do. Okay, at this point, quickly I just want to also ask on Virat Kohli before we move on. Anil Kumble feels that there is too much pressure. He's putting too much pressure on himself. So, Chiteshwar, I'm going to start with you because you're the batsman. Sometimes does this happen that you tend to put on too much pressure on yourself?
It does. I feel someone like Virat Kohli, who has scored so many runs in across the formats, when he's going through a lean patch, when he's not scoring as good as he likes to, forget about the rest of the world because everyone does talk about whenever he doesn't score. But he himself he has set high standards for himself. So when he is not able to live up to that scores, he is not able to score those runs. That's when he starts putting too much pressure on himself. I think someone like him, he knows his game really, really well. But there are times where you go through a rough patch, and that's when you start doubting yourself a little bit that I am expected to score 100. But someone like him, even if he scores a 50, it always helps the team. And he understands that. I think it's very good that he starts scoring runs as quickly as possible in the Champions Trophy because we saw against England in the ODIs, he got 50s. And there are times where he might have been disappointed by those 50s because he is someone who always scores big runs. Especially in the ODI format, he is known to get those hundreds. And if he's not able to get that, then he might be doubting himself or he might be putting himself under pressure that I need to score more.
Right.
But someone like him, he knows his game really, really well, but he needs to stay relaxed and his role is very important.
How easy or tough is it to do that? Because I'm sure you've been in that position too. How easy or tough is it to tell you
it's never
mentally,
easy because
just let the muscle
have,
memory take over. Let's just your instinct flow. Don't try and do things. Don't try and tell your body and your mind and your bat to do things.
Well, it's easy to say, but it's hard to implement on the field because it's a game of mind. When you are going out there in the middle, your mind starts talking to you that I want to score runs. I want to score big runs. Then you have your friends and families. Then you have your well-wishers who will say, "Oh, you scored a 50, but we were expecting 100 from you. Why didn't you get 100?" So those are the things which puts you under pressure. Because as a player, he's very confident. As a player, he knows what he's doing.
Right.
But people around him will. There are times where they will have an opinion. They will say that, "Oh, Virat is not scoring as many runs as he should be."
Right.
Because he has scored so many runs over the years. But there are times where one needs to understand that as a cricketer, you go through rough patches. There are ups and downs. And that's when you need to stay relaxed and you need to support him. And this is the perfect time to, do that and try and, someone needs to tell him, someone who is very close to him that, please stay relaxed.
Right.
Your role is very, very important in the Indian team because he bats at number 3.
Correct.
And most of the times, all the batters bat around him. And when he scores 100, whether India is batting first or second, most of the time India has won the game.
Well, as long as he's out there in the middle, we know that we got the match. And the Pakistanis will never forget what he did in that last over along with Hardik Pandya, although a different format altogether. What he did, they will always remember. तो कोई ना कोई आते रहता हमारे जनरेशन में जो उनके लिए उनके सर पर gives them nightmares. That is true. But Nikhil Chopra, quick word on Virat before we move on. I think we're just going to get Piyush back. Yeah.
You know, with the kind of hundreds that he's got 50 hundreds. Anand, I mean, that record is phenomenal. He's just one innings of getting back into top-notch, top gear. Virat Kohli. He got a couple of 50s against England in the home series. So I'm hoping that against Pakistan we see the best of him, and then the rest of the tournament you see the best of Virat Kohli, because 50 hundred, that record by itself says a lot. And don't forget, if we are chasing, he's been called the nickname of the chase master. He loves batting under pressure. That's the beauty and hallmark of a champion match winner. He enjoys batting under pressure, and you see the best of Virat Kohli.
Right, we got Piyush back, so let me quickly ask him कि Piyush आपके लिए who's the biggest threat from the Pakistan team and why? Batsman, bowler, जो भी.
Biggest threat from Pakistan team, I think Salman Agha, because he's a kind of player who can change the course of the game on its head on his given day, because he's an attacking batsman, and we have seen what he's capable of when Pakistan chasing 350 odd run against South Africa, the kind of 100 he has got. He's in a good form. He batted well against New Zealand also, and he's somebody who's an attacking player, so who can change the game.
Good name. Looking beyond the Fakhar Zaman, Babar Azam, you're saying Salman Agha is a threat that we should be watchful of. पर आप bowler हैं, तो मैं आपसे जानना चाहता हूँ कि पाकिस्तानी बैट्समैन की कोई weakness है that our spinners can actually capitalize on? Piyush?
The weakness against the spinners in Pakistani batting lineup, I would say, that risk-taking ability. Because in Dubai, we have seen the pitch were helping the spinners, and you have to take bit of risk if you want to score those runs. So I don't see there are many batters in the top order in Pakistani lineup who can take that risk, because if they're trying to do so, they might end up losing their wicket. So it is Indian spinners can capitalize.
Yeah, so it is to entice them to come out and take risk and उनको pitch crease से बाहर निकलवाओ. तो I think there is some purchase, and that's perhaps the classic strategy also. But quick thoughts on that, Nikhil Chopra?
It makes a big difference. I think especially in the new rules that till 40 overs after, between the 11th and the 40th over, you have 5 fielders in the 30-yard circle. If you don't take risks and you don't get a couple of boundaries at that phase, the Indian spinners are not going to allow the Pakistani batsmen to take singles at will. Because you look at the experience, the control with Aksar bowls, Jadeja bowls, Kuldeep has been phenomenal. Thanks to Piyush, because Piyush has been spending a lot of time with Kuldeep, getting him to bowl slightly quicker as well. So it makes a difference. So that risk-taking ability, and it also shows the aptitude of any batsman. Can he hit a boundary without taking too much risk, or does he know where the boundaries are coming from? Where are his risk-free zones? Because if he got mid-off up, is he allowed to use his feet? In the previous game against New Zealand, we rarely saw a Babar use the track in terms of using his feet, coming down, dancing down, looking to go chip it over mid-off or mid-on. Nothing like that happened. So the risk-taking ability is something that might trouble the Pakistani batsmen.
What do you think is a defendable total here, Cheteshwar, in Dubai? And let's also talk about the toss. I know we are far away from it, but still, given the conditions, would you want India to bat first or chase?
I would say we should bat first, and somewhere close to 300 could be defended, even if it's 275, because the kind of quality of spinners we have, we can defend 275 also. But because we have enough depth in the batting lineup, if we are batting first, I'm sure we would end up putting more than 300 on the board, because there is the top order has been batting really well. All of them are in form, and if you look at the middle order and the lower middle order, someone like Jadeja, who is coming in at 8, Akshar is batting well at number 5. Hardik didn't get any opportunity to bat in the last game. So there is enough depth in the batting lineup, and that's why I feel that even, if we lose the toss, I feel Pakistan might end up batting first. And even if we are chasing 275, 300, which is again possible with our batting lineup. But anything more than 300 could be challenging on that pitch.
थोड़ा fight हो सकता है. Nikhil Chopra, your thoughts?
Yeah, because I hope the coin goes our way, because we've been here for a month and a half on seeing the Dubai track, just losing its pace. It just tends to get a little slower because there's no dew. We've seen that in the last two and a half weeks when we're covering another league here. There's barely any dew, no dew whatsoever. So I think if you win toss, bat first, and you look to get 300 plus, because if you look at the Pakistani bowling lineup, their strength of course, in their pace department, but against New Zealand, the last 10 overs, they conceded 113 runs. Whether it was Shaheen Afridi, Haris Rauf, Naseem, all three, they went for 113. I think that's what is going to hurt the Pakistani side as well. We get 300 runs, too much pressure. With the kind of bowling that we've got, I don't think Pakistan will be able to get close to 300.
All right, I'm going to ask this of Piyush Chawla also quickly. Piyush, what is a defendable total on the Dubai pitch? And what is a good total for you if India bats first?
देखिए दुबई में इस समय मौसम तो ठीक होता है, लेकिन जैसा हमने मैच देखा बांग्लादेश के सामने, वहाँ पिच थोड़ी स्लो थी, स्पिनर्स को मदद प्राप्त हो रही थी, और इतने ज़्यादा मैचेस हुए वहाँ पे। अभी जो T20 एक टूर्नामेंट ख़त्म हुआ फ्रेंचाइज क्रिकेट, तो पिचेस इतनी यूज़ हो गई हैं, तो उसके बाद कहीं ना कहीं वो पिचेस में थोड़ी जान कम है, वो स्लो हो गई हैं। तो मेरे को लगता है कि अगर आप टॉस जीत के पहले बैटिंग करते हैं तो आपकी टीम के लिए बेहतर हो जाएगा, क्योंकि आप 270 के आसपास अगर रन बनाते हैं तो फिर इतना आसान नहीं होगा चेजिंग टीम के लिए। लेकिन ड्यू एक ऐसा फैक्टर है, वो किसी के हाथ में नहीं है कि वो कितनी उस दिन आएगी या नहीं। लेकिन जितना मैं रोहित को और गौती भाई को जानता हूँ, वो दोनों को चेस करना बहुत पसंद है।
नहीं, पर वो मैं समझ गया, पर डिफेंडेबल टोटल क्या होगा दुबई पिच में आपके हिसाब से?
देखिए दुबई में इस समय मौसम तो ठीक होता है, लेकिन जैसा हमने मैच देखा बांग्लादेश के सामने, वहाँ पिच थोड़ी स्लो थी, स्पिनर्स को मदद प्राप्त हो रही थी, और इतने ज़्यादा मैचेस हुए वहाँ पे। अभी जो T20 एक टूर्नामेंट ख़त्म हुआ फ्रेंचाइज क्रिकेट, तो पिचेस इतनी यूज़ हो गई हैं, तो उसके बाद कहीं ना कहीं वो पिचेस में थोड़ी जान कम है, वो स्लो हो गई हैं। तो मेरे को लगता है कि अगर आप टॉस जीत के पहले बैटिंग करते हैं तो आपकी टीम के लिए बेहतर हो जाएगा, क्योंकि आप 270 के आसपास अगर रन बनाते हैं तो फिर इतना आसान नहीं होगा चेजिंग टीम के लिए। लेकिन ड्यू एक ऐसा फैक्टर है, वो किसी के हाथ में नहीं है कि वो कितनी उस दिन आएगी या नहीं। लेकिन जितना मैं रोहित को और गौती भाई को जानता हूँ, वो दोनों को चेस करना बहुत पसंद है।
Final question to you, Piyush, before I come back to the other guests. Who is Bharat's X factor? आपके हिसाब से कौन मैच विनर हो सकता है, and why? Trump card.
X factor for India, I think Shubman Gill. It's totally because of his form, the way he's batting. In last 4 innings, he has got 200, and especially the last 100 which he has got against Bangladesh. It was a tough wicket to bat, a tricky pitch, but the way he shown that maturity, he took that responsibility and batted till the last. So X factor, Shubman Gill.
Cheteshwar, your thoughts?
I would go with the all-rounders क्योंकि I do agree with Piyush के जिस तरह से शुभमन बैटिंग कर रहा है, he is probably one of the X factors. But since he has mentioned him, I would go with Akshar and Hardik because both of them play a crucial role. And since Akshar has been batting at number 5, because Ravindra is another all-rounder we have, but since he is not getting the opportunity to bat up the order, I would go with Akshar and Hardik because both of them will play a major role in this particular game.
Nikhil Chopra?
Well, I guess the all-rounders have been spoken about. Shubman Gill has been in top-notch form. To me, I think there's an old score to settle. Just to take somebody else's name, I'd back the skipper and of course King Kohli. And I'll tell you why. First, Rohit, because he's due. He needs to settle a score with Shaheen Afridi. And Virat Kohli, we all know, biggest stage, pressure game. He loves that. He loves the energy of the stadium as well, and especially against Pakistan. We see the best of him. So for me, these two guys.
These two guys, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, the classics will come back. Okay, now we got limited time, so I'm going to get Vimal also to do this. But first, Cheteshwar, we put out the whole squad, and I want you to tell us your preferred playing 11 against Pakistan.
Well, from the last game, I would... Harshit has been bowling really well. But for me, I think Arshdeep is the X factor. If he can get an opportunity, I don't think there will be any changes in the squad. But one change I would love to see at some stages, Arshdeep getting an opportunity to play in the 11.
So you would not want Harshit to sit out and Arshdeep to come in this one? Retain the same squad?
I would want to, but it will be unfair on Harshit. Look, if you have preferred him in the first game, you need to continue with him. He has bowled well against Bangladesh, so you can't make that change. From the cricketing point of view, I don't think you can make that change. But going forward in this Champions Trophy, at some stage, I would love to see Arshdeep playing in the 11.
But you feel Shami is all right. He's fully fit. He deserves to be retained. He didn't look a little slower, off color, and all that.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Look, the way he bowled in the last game against Bangladesh, he took 5 wickets. And to come back from the injury and bowl like that is never easy. He was out of the game for a long time. He has been playing first-class cricket. He played Ranji Trophy. He worked hard on his fitness. And to come back and bowl a spell like this is credit. You need to give that credit to Shami, and you need to show that confidence and faith in him that he is going to play. He will be the leading bowler in our team, because since Bumrah is not there, I think Shami is the most senior bowler. So he needs to play all the game, and we need to show that faith in him.
So you're backing the same squad, and perhaps maybe an Arshdeep gets a look in some time. Nikhil Chopra, will you bring in Rishabh Pant here? Will you go with the same squad? Will you bring in Arshdeep? It's Dubai, it's India, Pakistan.
You know, well, when you start a tournament, Anand, normally you play your best 11 unless, player, God forbid, gets injured, then you make those sort of changes. But I don't see any changes in the 11 after winning the first game. Yeah, absolutely. I'm backing Cheteshwar on this. I'd like to see Arshdeep go out there and bowl as well, only because initially in Dubai, in the evening, if you're bowling, it does swing around, and that's the strength of Arshdeep as well. He started bowling really well in the death overs as well. He's a quality bowler, make no mistake about it. But I don't see any changes in the 11, and I guess Rishabh also will have to wait his turn.
Right. Well, Vimal is tracking the team. Vimal, quick word. I've got to wind up. Mauka ya badla? What looks like happening 2 days before the game?
I think, Anand, you are talking about one change. I think there will be one change, at least the team which won against Bangladesh. There will be either Arshdeep Singh or Varun Chakravarti coming in place of one bowler. Maybe possibly, as Cheteshwar has pointed out, that it will be unfair on Harshit, who has been doing well, being backed by the team management. But I guess because they have deliberately kept Varun Chakravarti because of his, X factor, mystery spinner. So maybe they would like to introduce Pakistan, against Pakistan. So that is one possibility, especially.
So Shami and Hardik will open the bowling, and uske baad it's spinners all the way.
Maybe that is the something, because especially if you look at the Dubai pitch, it is assisting the spinners.
इतना रिस्क लेंगे कि नहीं, but
Hardik will come and bowl as well.
Hardik 5 स्पिनर लेके आए हैं.
पांच स्पिनर लेके आए, पर इससे जरूरी नहीं है कि सबको खिलाएंगे भाई. बैटिंग भी तो देखना है कि कहां तक क्या किया जाएगा. अब
रोहित ने कहा 3 ऑलराउंडर है, हम 2 ही स्पिनर लेके आए हैं. He is saying that generally conventional wisdom is that you only consider fast bowling all-rounders. स्पिनिंग ऑलराउंडर भी है, तो 2 ही हमारे पास स्पिनर है.
ऑलराउंडर जो एक से ज्यादा डिसिप्लिन कर ले वो भी ऑलराउंडर होता है. तो इसमें तो केएल राहुल भी ऑलराउंडर हो गया, बिकॉज वो बैट्समैन एंड कीपिंग दोनों है. बट एनीवे, बट इट्स बीन ग्रेट, एंड आई लुक फॉरवर्ड टू आल्सो your continued presence right through this phenomenal contest. Sunday we will do a pre-match, mid-match and post-match, and I look forward to talking cricket. It's always fun to do this, and there's a big clash. It's the semi-final before the big semi, in the knockouts. That's what's happening before the knockout itself. At least for Pakistan it is. For us, it's perhaps another day in the game, and somewhere that badla thing comes back. You wanna square things up, and also they are the reigning champions, and if you are able to beat them on their turf and deny them qualification when they are the hosts, that's rubbing it in. That will be very, very sweet. Thank you, gents. I've run out of time. Thank you so much. Thank you.
India Pakistan all time high voltage match, one of the best match, highest TRP match. आपका प्रेडिक्शन क्या है, क्या हो सकता है?
वो ग्रीन में तो प्रेडिक्ट नहीं कर सकते, बट इंडिया बहुत मजबूत टीम है. इंडिया इज़ अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग टीम, सो I am with India, but at the end of the day, in sport, anything can happen. But India is a far superior team.
मेरे से जो इंडिया पहली मैच बांग्लादेश के अगेंस्ट जीत मिला है, उसमें सामी ने 5 विकेट लिया है. तो बुमराह ना होना और सामी को 5 विकेट कमबैक में इतना परफॉर्मेंस, क्या लगता है? मतलब वो जगह ठीक चल रहा है?
हाँ, वो बहुत अच्छे बॉलर हैं, बहुत बेहतरीन बॉलर हैं. दुबई की सरफेस थोड़ा सा अलग है, ये बड़ा स्कोर वाला सरफेस नहीं है, ग्राउंड भी बहुत बड़ा है, तो बॉलिंग बहुत ज़रूरी है. और शामी का ये रिदम बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, क्योंकि बुमराह नहीं है, जैसा आपने कहा.
मर्दा जो सवाल है कि बॉलिंग में देखा जा रहा है इंडिया 3 स्पिनर खिला रहा है और 2 फास्ट बॉलर। जो दुबई का विकेट है इसमें कॉम्बिनेशन ये ठीक लग रहा है, क्योंकि 5 स्पिनर लेके इंडिया जा चुका है। अगर 5 स्पिनर टीम में क्या होना चाहिए, क्या लगता है? क्योंकि इसमें कंट्रोवर्सी है, लोग कह रहे हैं इतना स्पिनर क्यों?
पता नहीं कैप्टन और कोच क्या सोच रहे हैं, बट मुझे लगता है कि जो टीम बांग्लादेश के साथ खेला है वही टीम खेलेगा।
5 स्पिनर के बाद जो है
5 स्पिनर तो खेलेगा नहीं, स्क्वाड में है 3 स्पिनर खेलेंगे।
बता, जो बॉलिंग कॉम्बिनेशन है, हर्षित राणा जिस मैच में डेब्यू कर रहा है उसमें 3 विकेट मिल रहा है उसको, अर्शदीप बैठा हुआ है, तो सब मिला के जो कॉम्बिनेशन है और पिच आपने देखा है, क्या लगता है अगर कॉम्बिनेशन क्या होना चाहिए? जो सही चल रहा है तो आपने कहा अभी बांग्लादेश के खिलाफ जो मैच खेला है
सेम कॉम्बिनेशन खेलेगा, कॉम्बिनेशन कुछ बदलेगा नहीं, सेम कॉम्बिनेशन खेलेगा, नथिंग विल चेंज।
बांग्लादेश मैच ने आपने देखा, बैटिंग
थोड़ा बहुत देखा, पूरा देखा नहीं,
फिर भी
थोड़ा बहुत देखा।
बैटिंग लेके कुछ कहना है?
अच्छा है बैटिंग, 6 विकेट से जीत गए, 230 रन आराम से बनाए 6 विकेट से। इंडिया इज अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग वाइट बॉल टीम विद डेप्थ इन बॉलिंग, बैटिंग। जडेजा बैट्स एट 8, इट्स अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग टीम।
नंबर 8 तक बैटिंग है।
इट्स अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग।
रोहित शर्मा आपके क्लब में आ चुका है, 11,000 रन हो गया है, 11,000 कंप्लीट हो गया। तो विराट, रोहित, सचिन, सौरव, तो उसका फॉर्म देख के क्या लग रहा है? 41 के आउट हो गया,
अच्छा खेल रहा है, अभी तो सेंचुरी किया इंग्लैंड के सामने, he's got 100, so he's in very good form. He's also a terrific white ball player. Don't look at his test form and white ball form together. He's a fantastic white ball player. He played well in the World Cup also. He played well in the T20 World Cup also. So he's a very good white ball player.
Any match between India and Pakistan, not only in cricket, even in hockey or any other sport, the whole world is interested to see the competition between India and Pakistan. You see, this is the highlight of all the into the entire Commonwealth countries and into other countries, European countries as well. Wherever the Indian expats and the Pakistani expats are there, so they are glued to the TV to see who's going to win. Every team plays to win, but you have to take it in the right spirit of the game, right? That's the way you got to enjoy this great game. Do not be emotional and feel sad about a particular team losing. No.
इंडिया पाकिस्तान का मैच है कल, और यहाँ पे ना जमावड़ा लगा हुआ है दुबई में। मैं दुबई हूँ, मैच के लिए मैं भी आया हुआ हूँ, पर ये बता दूँ कि फेवरेट भारत है, क्योंकि भारत की बल्लेबाजी अच्छी है, गेंदबाजी अच्छी है, और पिछला मैच यहीं पे जीते हैं, और उसी एक्सपीरियंस को लेके आगे बढ़ेंगे। और वेरेज पाकिस्तान आया है, पाकिस्तान में हार के वो अच्छी पिचेस पे खेल के आए हैं। यहाँ पे पिच मिलेगी थोड़ी सी हल्की सी धीमी वाली, तो धीमी वाली पिच पे एडजस्ट करना उनके लिए ज़्यादा मुश्किल होगा। भारत फेवरेट है मेरी नज़र में, और भारत ये मैच जीतेगा, क्योंकि भारत की टीम सबसे बेहतर है।
आई थिंक जब बड़ा मैच होता है प्रेशर सिचुएशन में, जो हमने अभी लेटली उन पे डोमिनेट किया है, वो फैक्टर रहेगा। एंड आई थिंक आवर टीम इज वी गॉट सो मेनी प्लेयर्स सिटिंग ऑन द बेंच हु आर इचिंग टू प्ले एंड दे परफॉर्म। तो मुझे लगता है कि आवर टीम इज मच बेटर देन पाकिस्तान।
मुझे लगता है पूरा क्रिकेट जगत उत्साहित है कल के मैच के लिए, और मानता हूँ जिस तरीके से इंडिया ने पिछली गेम भी खेली, बड़ी कन्विंसिंग विन थी, और हमें पूरी उम्मीद है कि कल भारत बहुत अच्छा प्रदर्शन करेगी और मैच जीतेगी।
It's that time again, the ultimate rivalry, the clash that stops nations. India versus Pakistan in the ICC Champions Trophy 2025. Buckle up, because this is going to be epic. Will India continue their dominance in ICC tournaments, or will Pakistan, the defending champions, rise to the occasion once again? Let's break it down. The India versus Pakistan clash is not just a group stage encounter, but a high stakes match that could influence the tournament's dynamics. Rohit Sharma's India are coming into the contest with a terrific 6-wicket win over Bangladesh in their campaign opener in Dubai. Vice captain Shubman Gill scored a valiant 100 after Mohammad Shami returned a 5-wicket haul in the first innings. Now, on Sunday, a victory against Pakistan would seal a semi-final berth for the men in blue. On the other hand, Pakistan desperately need to win the contest against India. They had a rough start to their campaign in front of the home crowd in Karachi. The men in green, rather the defending champions, lost the battle to New Zealand by 60 runs with their fate in the contest hanging by a volatile thread. Things have drastically changed since Sarfaraz Khan's Pakistan hammered Kohli's Team India in the 2017 edition of the tournament. While India have flourished as one of the reckoning forces in ODI cricket, Pakistan's success rate has gone south. Even coming into the contest, they look clueless, searching for the right balance almost all the time. But nonetheless, it's the mother of all clashes that ensures an optimum dosage of entertainment and thrill. On that note, let's have a look at the key players of both sides. India, led by Rohit Sharma, they boast a formidable batting lineup including Virat Kohli and Shubman Gill. The bowling attack spearheaded by Mohammad Shami adds depth to the squad. India's recent performances have been strong, making them a rock-solid opponent. Pakistan need to play like defending champions. Now that they have lost Fakhar Zaman, it would be interesting to see how his replacement Imamul Haq deals with the neighbours. The opener last played in the 2023 ODI World Cup against South Africa in Chennai and hops back into the dressing room in another ICC tournament. Also, Babar and Rizwan have to fire, especially the former captain who kicked off in this tourney with loads of criticism where his intent was also questioned. Now let's have a look at the predicted 11s. The men in blue would much likely keep the same 11. They are confident, look formidable, and most importantly, we are not missing Jasprit Bumrah too much. So, Cricket Next predicts no change to India's lineup for the Sunday blockbuster. Pakistan are forced to make changes since Fakhar Zaman's ouster. But who will grab that empty spot? Imamul Haq, who hasn't played international cricket since October 2023, or ODI uncapped Usman Khan? It would be a bold move anyway. Also, if Saud Shakil returns to the middle order, the Pakistan side may look little more stable. As we speak of Fakhar Zaman, India might not have forgotten what he did to them when the last time they met in a Champions Trophy clash. Bumrah's no ball handed him a life, allowing him to score flashy 114 of just 106 deliveries. And the rest, as they say, is history. And now that both players are unavailable for their respective sides, which team is going to have the edge? Do let us know in the comment section. The upcoming India versus Pakistan match promises high-octane cricket with both teams eager to assert dominance. Given their current forms and the stakes involved, fans can anticipate a thrilling encounter that upholds the storied legacy of this rivalry.
Welcome to the second episode of the CN podcast, and today we are going to dive into the marquee clash of the Champions Trophy. No, we are not talking about the final, but India versus Pakistan, and it is going to be a one-sided affair or not. It is something that we will have to wait and watch. But I am your host Vineet Ramakrishnan, and joining me is Akash Biswas.
Thank you, Vineet. Thank you so much. And yes, another year,
Yeah.
another ICC tournament, and once again that much anticipated clash between India and Pakistan.
Yeah, it is much anticipated, and sometimes it feels, it's not just cricket, because the kind of emotions you associate with India and Pakistan, it is much beyond that. Even though there has been very one-sided, lopsided contest between the two teams, but the emotions of it is just too high to ignore. And again, we have discussed this, that the lack of India-Pakistan games in the recent years, it becomes a carnival kind of an atmosphere, even though we know that it might not live up to the cricketing standards that we expect.
Exactly. And I would sum it up like this, the thing that you have the least, you preserve it the most. So that's why we are not habitual of watching India and Pakistan bilateral series that much, of course, because of those diplomatic conditions between these two nations. But yes, these ICC tournaments, when they bring up India and Pakistan against each other, the atmosphere is lively. We have seen a couple of years ago in India as well, the last year in the US in that T20I World Cup, and now it's in Dubai. So
Yeah.
we are bracing ourselves for this competition.
And also ICC events in the recent past or historically also, India have dominated Pakistan. You know, be it the T20 World Cups or be it the ICC ODI tournaments, the World Cup or the ICC Champions Trophy. But barring the 2017 loss of India to Pakistan, I mean, they still rave about that. And of course, that T20 World Cup 10-wicket loss
10 wicket
also.
loss,
But
yes.
historically, it's been a case where Pakistan have not really showed up in an ICC tournament when it comes to India.
Exactly, and I have some stats here with me. Like if we speak about the overall ODIs between India and Pakistan, surprisingly and historically, Pakistan are ahead with 73 victories, while India have won only 56. But now, as we speak about the ICC tournaments, yes, who could forget that 2017 Champions Trophy final when
Yeah.
Virat Kohli's team suffered a 180-run loss to Sarfaraz Khan's Pakistan, and cut to 2021 first league match between India and Pakistan, and we lost that game 10 wickets. But since then, a lot has changed. Cricket in Pakistan has changed, so did in India. But now, if we see from this position where India and where Pakistan stands, the difference is massive, massive difference.
Cricket changed for India for the better, but for Pakistan it was kind of worse, and again culminating into that Sri Lankan attack on the Sri Lankan players, and from there
Exactly,
no
in
cricket being played.
2009.
2009, no cricket being played. Their cricket has deteriorated to that extent where even though we are talking about India Pakistan as this some kind of famed acclaimed rivalry,
Exactly.
would it live up to that expectation is the biggest question that probably lingers in our mind now.
And also that what Pakistan has been through as a nation in the past decade or so, that geopolitical tensions or the turmoil, I would say, has somewhere or the other reflected on Pakistan's cricket, because we have seen how political people have a big say in Pakistan cricket, and I think that has also reflected in the team combination, team formation, the administration, and ultimately in the performance of the players. Because ever since Pakistan were knocked out of that ODI World Cup which held in India, they have went through a lot, captain changes, change of selectors, change of coaches. So if there are so many ups and downs in a team setup, then obviously to find that balance, that's gonna be a big thing, big challenge for a team like Pakistan. And even if you see now that they are hosting it, but I think India as a participating nation seems to have that home advantage.
Exactly, and hosting itself is a great thing for Pakistan. This is what, since 1996 they are now hosting an
Yes,
ICC
29
tournament.
years.
29
long
years, almost
Three
three
decades.
decades there. So the significance of this tournament itself becomes quite huge for something as a team like Pakistan. Again, as you mentioned, it's very kind of an thing where India, having refused to travel to Pakistan, as we mentioned, for reasons which is not in players' control, India do have that tactical advantage in terms of the host nation
Obviously.
coming in and playing their games in an outside venue, whereas India would be placed in Dubai. So let's
Exactly.
get into Pakistan first. The challenges, now they'll be facing. Primarily, they've lost to New Zealand by 60-run margin. Coming into this game, as we mentioned, Dubai, not their home venue. India have already played a game here. India, stupendous performance against Bangladesh, dominating win. Pakistan, do or die. What are the challenges for Pakistan?
Well, I think the Champions Trophy is done for Pakistan, because the way they played against New Zealand, I don't think anything gonna change.